at the Married to Medicine reunion, Dr. Heavenly is being told that she needs to scale back on what she's saying about Sweet Tea because Sweet Tea wants to quit the show. Dr. Heavenly has apologized repeatedly.
That's called an Apollo lie. It's not an apology, it's an Apollo lie.
I think that there's been a lot
But
of
then she
call out.
continues to
I
say more
think
reckless
no,
stuff.
she doesn't.
Like what? Yes, she
She's-
does. She just said
said
the gay man thing that we spoke about at the
we're
start of the
talking about Sweet
conversation.
Tea. We're talking about
But I'm
Sweet
saying
Tea.
what I'm talking about specifically is the fact that she continues to say immoral stuff.
This is not the only person she's done this to. She has done this countless time on that show to about half, if not more, than the cast. It's called a pattern of behavior. This is what I see, a pattern of behavior.
Pattern of behavior. They all do dirt to each other.
Well, we are talking about Dr. Heavenly though, right?
Didn't you just say early in the conversation, this very conversation, that you don't think you think Heavenly was apologizing for the thing with the gay man, and she shouldn't take it back because you think that's how she really feels?
Let me remind you what I said earlier.
She buffered.
Well, you should remind yourself so you cannot contradict yourself.
I'm not. So let's explore it. How am I contradicting myself?
Hey, it's a brotherhood. Woohoo!
Hey everyone, it's your bro, Mitch Kimbro, and you're watching Bro Chat, where me and my bros debate some of your favorite topics. Now, bros, I want to get your thoughts on Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea. But first, Dr. Heavenly apologized for saying gay men are not real men.
Most men, real men, not gay men, not bitch men. You know what I'm saying? The guys that is kind of soft, but real men are gonna feel like, you know what I mean? Straight men are gonna feel like if you tell my wife to shut the fuck up, I'm gonna have a problem with it. And again, let me apologize for what I said before. I made a lot of people feel uncomfortable about something I made, and it was mistaken. And I want to say I apologize. It was an ignorant statement I made about, being a real man, whatever. I want to apologize for that again and again. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I didn't mean anything by it, but it doesn't take away from somebody I might have hurt their feelings. So I will apologize for that again and again and again. I was wrong. That was an ignorant statement.
Should Dr. Heavenly be given the benefit of the doubt for her statements about gay men? Damien, what do you think?
Do I think Dr. Heavenly should be canceled? No. Do I think she should be held accountable? Yeah, but what does accountable mean? Like, are we educating her here? Is she not coming back from Married to Medicine for a season? Like, I don't know, but I thought this was very out of touch. Like, what is going on? This is why in a previous recording, Eric had mentioned that she needs to get out of her closet and stop making these videos. And this is exactly why. Like, is she making... I have a feeling she's making more off YouTube than her dental practice and Married to Medicine or something, because she puts so much time and effort into her YouTube channel. And that's no shade. Like, I really think that's what's going on here. But Heavenly is speaking for a number of women, specifically middle-aged women. No shade to my middle-aged women. I love y'all. My mom's 55, So the middle-aged women get mad when I say that. But there are a lot of women who think like Heavenly. They do. They have one idea of a gay man, which is a limp in his wrist, a twist in his walk, and a hey girl. And all gay men ain't like that. There are gay NFL players. There are gay cops. There are masculine gay men, and that you don't have to be masculine, you don't have to be feminine. I'm not saying it has to be one or the other, but you can't put us in a box, Heavenly. And that weak gay man that you're talking about is your hairstylist, is your makeup artist, is your producer, comes into your dentist office, is your boss. Did you think about that before that came out your mouth? I don't think so.
Eric?
I just think she should shut up. If you want me to be quite frank, she needs to shut up. With this limp in my wrist and with my hey girl, I will knock out anybody that talks about my man.
Period.
So I don't know where's she coming from? Because just because you're feminine doesn't mean that you can't fight. Just because you are feminine doesn't mean that you don't stand by your own business. So this archaic idea of what feminine is so insane to me that this woman walks around talking like this. This is not the first time she's done it. This is not the second time she's done it. This is not the third time she's done it. She constantly says some dumb SAIT, and then has to do an apology video when she could just not talk. Like, just don't say the things that you're saying. What are you gonna? I just don't understand the concept of trying to tell me that a real man. What makes it a real man? And please tell me what makes a real man, because I would love to know. Because a real man does what they want to do, what they want to do. And so gay men, I feel like, are more real men because despite what society tells them, they do what they need to get to do, and they do what they need to do to get their shit done. Period.
All right.
So that's so.
Maybe a real
Pass
man
the collection.
with this
Pass the
lip
collection
wrist.
plate.
Maybe a real man allegedly cheats on their spouse. Maybe that's what a real man does.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, girl, it's
Somebody
just
call
so
Mariah.
nasty.
Victor.
Girl, you know I'm about to get this woman. I'm about to get this woman together, honey. Dr. Heavenly, she has heaven in her name, but not in any of her actions. Let's clock it. So first of all, we see you on the show calling Countess's dead mother stupid. Strike one. Second of all, on Instagram Live, you said your own dead mother has a better chance of getting pregnant than Sweet Tea. Girl. And let me just clock your delusional behind for saying to Sweet Tea that you can take her man. Maybe you can even take your towel off your head before you came on the live. So while you think you're fabulous, you're fabulous. Let's clock that. If you insult dead people, you mock women with infertility issues, I'm not surprised that you don't have the capacity to respect gay men. And as someone who owns a university, I expect you to lead by example. And you're leading people astray. Girl, I'm over it, honey. Next question.
We're going to dive deep into Sweet Tea, but before we do, I actually don't think that Dr. Heavenly should have apologized. I do believe that that was Dr. Heavenly's true opinion. And I don't agree with someone looking at the backlash, and based on the backlash, they do an aftermath apology and almost make it seem as though they misspoke. They didn't mean
Yeah, I
that.
don't believe her
I don't
apology.
think that that is
No.
what I wish that Dr. Heavenly would have just kept it real. This is what I think. And she just gave more explanation on why she feels like gay men are not real men. I think that that is Dr. Heavenly's true opinion.
Yeah.
That
I
aftermath
agree.
apology,
I agree.
I don't accept it. I think that we should stop
Ooh!
accepting aftermath apologies because of
Mm.
backlash.
Mm.
That Dr. Heavenly should
Unless
keep
it's
it
Dorit.
honest.
Unless it's Dorit. But yeah,
She
I agree with you.
apologized because of all the money she was allegedly or possibly about to
Losing.
lose. That's what she was apologizing for. She's worried about that Married to Medicine contract not being renewed. Let's be real. Like you said, Mitch, she
Exactly.
feels that way. But the first thing that
I
probably
think
went
that
through her head when she saw the backlash was, "Oh, Andy Cohen,"
I went too far. Oh
you
yeah.
know, her
My
boss.
Um, but,
boss.
but but
Yeah.
you but you didn't have the instinct to apologize. You said that on live, and you didn't say it and then go, oh my god, I just said that. I'm so sorry. I can't. But I didn't mean gay men. You didn't clock it until well after the video has been released and the video got a response.
The-
So to me, that's disingenuous. If you really felt bad, you would have clocked it in the moment. I was like, did I just say that? But you
Yeah.
didn't.
And also, Sweet Tea chimed in. She called out Dr. Jackie for inviting Dr. Heavenly to the White House to hear Kamala Harris speak on reproductive health.
Clock it.
And
Clock that tea.
during season 10 last season, Dr. Heavenly and Carlos King made insensitive remarks about Sweet Tea's
Oh,
infertility.
that was
Instead of having quad on her vision board, she should have had, some eggs and some babies.
There's certain people that can't handle fun shade.
You don't talk about someone's reproductive organs in
or
any
their
way, shape, or
deceased
form that's
parents.
disrespectful.
Like all that's just
Yes,
gross.
it's
Yeah.
just nasty. It's so.
It's gross.
It's foul. It's just very foul.
It's foul.
Is it really that serious? What did this girl do to you? What did she do to you that's what your response was? What did she do to you?
Yeah, the day I taking Heavenly to the White House to be around where Kamala's speaking about infertility, that's the same day I would take Donald Trump to hear about a transgender rally or to present a Woman of the Year award. Why the hell would you do that? And I feel like between that conversation happening between the head of a university and a head of a television network is kind of diabolical. I think for Carlos King, the self-proclaimed king of reality TV, I feel like he's getting too involved in people's businesses, and she was right to clock him because while you're ahead of a network, you're speaking about a woman's fertility, and like here's my thing. This is what I feel. So recently, one of the things Heavenly said that Carlos King actually called her on the phone and said, when you invite Apollo to the trip, you have to record your call with Phaedra to say that she approved it to keep yourself safe. Here's my whole thing. So you're involved and you're getting your business in Married to Medicine. The so you have time for that, but you don't have time to let your Love and Marriage DC cast members know they are taking a 10-month break. You don't have time to do a psych evaluation. You don't have time to let Winter know that you're changing the way the checks are being paid, and it's only after your scenes they're going to be confirmed, and it's not going to be every week anymore. So you don't have time for any of this stuff. So I hope now that you do have more time, now that we see Bold and the Bougie cancelled, we see your review show
Why is
Reality
this
with
going
Queen
back to
cancelled.
Carlos King?
Now that you
He
have that
said the
time
comment.
as a head of television, he said the comment. So now that you have that time, you should use it on being a better head of a television network rather than making disgusting remarks and getting involved in business that have nothing to do with it here.
I think him and Andy suffer from the same issue on a personal level.
Okay,
And Andy does it too. And I think Andy does it too.
let's stick with Sweet Tea where we are because Eric asked a great question. A great question. Why is Dr. Heavenly talking about Sweet Tea? Because listen,
In such a strong manner. Like,
because
it's aggressive.
Sweet Tea did
Sweet
say
D. Okay. I like that,
We
No
know
man.
what's on the
sleeping here.
mind. We know what's on the mind.
You think about Maurice. No, joking. No, that's a joke. Because of what you said earlier.
Sweet Tea did say that Dr. Heavenly's mother, who passed, can go to hell. Sweet Tea did say that to
Yeah.
Dr. Heavenly, and Sweet Tea also said that Dr. Damien no longer has ties to Dr. Heavenly because the kids are not in the house anymore, not in the marital home.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been statements about family on both.
Damon, isn't it?
Dr. Damon,
Yeah.
He said
what I
Dr.
say?
Damien.
Damien.
Yeah. Well,
Damien.
Damien is going to be a doctor one of these days. He's
Am
going
I?
to save me, honey.
I don't know about
Save
that.
me, honey. But so there have been statements about family on both sides. But the difference is Dr. Heavenly on the show has apologized repeatedly. She has be held accountable. She has held herself accountable repeatedly over and over and over again. It's in the footage. And I think that it needs to be spoken about even more because, Dr. Heavenly has said things, but she also has said it and then she's taken it back. So,
Yeah.
in her
You know what that's
words,
called? You know what that's called?
in her
That's
words,
called an Apollo. That's called an Apollo lie. It's not an apology. It's an Apollo lie.
I don't think that Dr. Heavenly is Apollo lying. And the reason why is because she has been very clear about her accountability. Sweet Tea has not.
Mitch,
But
can I
didn't
be
you just
real? Can
say?
I be
But didn't you
real?
just say? But one second, Eric. Didn't you just say that you don't think early in the conversation, this very conversation,
Mhm.
that
Play
you
the
don't
footage.
think you think Heavenly was apologizing for the thing with the gay man, and she shouldn't take it back because that you think that's how she really feels.
Yeah, I don't think that she should have
Right.
taken it back what she said about gay mix. I think that's
Uh
really
huh.
how she feels.
So you don't
But
think the apology was genuine, right? Right?
I do not think
But
that
you think the rest of her apologies are genuine, is that what
yes,
you're saying?
listen, I appreciate the challenge. Let me
I'm
accept
confused.
it. Let
Uh
me
huh.
let me accept it because I agree. I want you to challenge me on this. Let me explain it.
Okay,
I
I
do
will.
not think that her apology towards the gay man comments were sincere. That's my opinion. Now, her apology towards Sweet Tea, I do believe that's sincere. And let me explain why. She has given her support and guidance on getting that insurance and retirements in place when it comes to money because Dr. G does throw the fact that he pays all the bills in Sweet Tea's face. Sweet Tea has talked about that on the show. So Dr. Heavenly has given her support on being
But I
financially
don't think.
self-sufficient.
Mm,
And that is, I think that is a big part of the give and take with their relationship. Dr. Heavenly wants it to be in a better place.
but I don't think. Heavenly's relationship with Sweet Tea was ever that genuine. I think part of the reason why she was even brought on the show and they were so buddy is because they were looking to get Quad out. So I don't think it was ever genuine. And then when it went to the left, she was riding hard, but then when she got the backlash for what was said with Carlos King about the infertility and the comments that were made, I think now she's wanted doing another Apollo lie. And that's what I do think.
That's interesting.
Dr. Heavenly has been apologizing.
100%.
She's been apologizing to Sweet Tea throughout the entire season. She apologized in the cowboy hat this season, on this current season. She apologized at the reunion. And she's also apologized on her YouTube channel. I think that there's been a lot
but
of
then she continues to say more reckless stuff.
No, she doesn't.
Like what she
no,
said
she
about,
doesn't.
Like what she
and
said
the
about
reason
gay
why,
men.
no,
I'm saying in general.
No, she doesn't. No,
immoral
not in general.
stuff.
Not in general either. And the reason why is because
yes, she does. She just said the gay man thing that we spoke about at the start of the conversation.
We're talking about Sweet Tea.
But I'm saying what I'm talking about specifically is the fact that she continues to say immoral stuff. And even if she apologizes, she's discounting the perspective of dead people with grief. She's discounting the perspective of infertile women. And even if you apologize for one specific thing, the process of doing that towards another group of people and ostracizing them and perpetuating a stereotype, it shows to me that you're not being more conscious, you're not being more aware, you're just apologizing because of the backlash.
Okay.
Because you would think more about what you say in those communities if you were apologizing genuinely.
Yes. Let me remind you of what I said earlier.
She buffered.
Well, you should remind yourself so you cannot contradict it so much.
I'm not. So let's explore it. How am I contradicting myself?
So you're contradicting yourself by saying Heavenly keeps apologizing, and I believe her apologies are genuine. And then you contradicted yourself earlier by saying when people say what they say, you shouldn't walk it back. You shouldn't walk it back, and because it's not genuine. And I think that was her opinion on gay men, and she should have explained it. So I think if you're saying that she should walk stuff back, she shouldn't walk stuff back. You should be consistent with it, rather than say all of a sudden she's genuine.
When it comes to her relationship and her conversation about Sweet Tea, if you watch her YouTube channel, Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel, she has gone in on Sweet Tea in the previous season. This season, she's chosen to say little to nothing or be complimentary. At the Married to Medicine reunion, Dr. Heavenly is being told that she needs to scale back on what she's saying about Sweet Tea because Sweet Tea wants to quit the show.
And to me, is it that she trying to get attention that she wore the ugliest ass dress she could wear? Anyway, I'm gonna lay off the little girl because they told me at the reunion, I'm gonna give y'all this. They told me at the reunion, they said, listen, Heavenly, can you please leave off Tea? After she talked cash shit about all of us, they told me, leave Sweet Tea alone. They said that she's about to break and she ready to go. She gonna leave if you say anything else to her. So I was told not to say nothing else to the girl. So I ain't gonna say nothing else, okay? I listen to the people that tell me what to do. I'm not gonna say nothing else about her. I'm not gonna say nothing else.
I think that Dr. Heavenly has done that this season. She has scaled back in a massive way.
But I think she's doing that performative. I don't think it's because she like genuinely feels bad. I think she's doing it because they told her to, and she's like, okay. And I think that's the part that
she was doing it before. She's been doing it before. Throughout this whole season, the current season 11, she has not been going in on Sweet Tea in the same way. She's apologized for what she said about the infertility. She apologized for what she said about the infertility.
Yeah, it's not real for me. Period. I don't believe it's genuine. I don't think it's genuine. I think it's fully production. I think she is one of those reality TV stars that we talk about that just got lost in it. She is she's like Dorinda. They're very obsessed with the fame.
Yeah, she loves it.
They're very obsessed with being that girl. So she's going to do it every time, all the time. She doesn't have apologies for it. I don't believe her apologies are genuine. To be frank, I think Dr. G is the real villain in all of this. I think he's the one we need to get out. I can't stand him. So let's go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Who is going to him as a psychiatrist? Because they need to be looked at. Because to get some mental health help from him, I don't know. That is one controlling, narcissistic man. I'll tell you that.
I think there should be apologies and accountability on both sides. I think Sweet Tea has also been involved in a conversation about family, saying that Dr. Heavenly's deceased mother should go to hell, talking about Dr. Damon does not have ties to Dr. Heavenly because the kids are no longer in the marital home.
I don't think anybody's arguing that, though. I don't think anybody here is
But
arguing
I'm
that she
just
shouldn't have
saying,
to
like, there needs to
apologize.
be,
But we can
there's,
also not agree that Heavenly's apologies are genuine. I think that that's where you're getting stuck. I cannot believe that.
yeah,
And I don't
but
believe
the
it. I don't
difference
believe that they're
is,
genuine.
but the difference is, Dr.
What's the
Heavenly has
difference?
the
It's my opinion.
awareness to actually give those apologies.
But I
Sweet Tea
think
is
that's
not.
where but this is where we're
Sweet
different.
Tea's
I
not
don't
even
believe she has
apologizing.
awareness. I don't believe she has the awareness. I believe she's being told to do it. I don't believe it's an awareness. I do not believe that Dr. Heavenly suddenly got a heart and if for 2 seconds to apologize to someone. Not even a little bit. I think that she very much was, it was, and Bethany described it when she described Jill Zarin, when she was like, oh, look at me. I'm going to be now the girl who's yelling at the pregnant girl. I think that's how she thinks. I think she thinks about what it's going to be perceived as and how she has to adjust her behavior accordingly. This is not the only person she's done this to. She has done this countless time on that show to about half, if not more, than the cast. So this is it's called a pattern of behavior. This is what I see. A pattern of behavior.
Pattern of
Sweet Tea has
behavior. They all do dirt to each other. It's not a pattern. They all have a pattern of behavior, I suppose. Not just Dr. Heavenly all by herself.
Well, I think Heavenly has a pattern of behavior when
well,
it
we are
comes to
talking
speaking
about
about
Dr.
people's
Heavenly though, right?
family.
I know, but to
Yeah.
pin
Okay, so
her
that's my point. Well,
accountability,
I'm
to
talking
pin
about
accountability on
her.
her all by herself, saying that she's
But
the
we're talking
only
about her
one.
issues. If we're talking about every issue on Married to Medicine, yes, then we can go down the list and I can tell you which ones need to be accountable. But at this moment, we're discussing the topic about Heavenly, so we are discussing that she needs to be accountable and it needs to be correct because it's not correct.
But the
This is
point
not
that
the
I'm
first time
raising,
she said.
the
She's
point
not the
that I'm
first time
raising
that she
to
said something about gay people either. This is not the
the
first
point
comment
that
she's
I'm
made about it.
raising to you is Sweet Tea is not taking accountability the way Dr. Heavenly has at least made the attempt.
I disagree.
Yeah, but I think with
Repeatedly. You can disagree, but it's
having
there on the show.
with
The footage is available for
okay,
us to see
right.
the
But I
accountability
think with
and the
with Heavenly,
apologies.
with Heavenly, when it comes to family specifically, I think she is kind of started going in that direction of, you approach Dr. Damon with the promise of having children, and then you couldn't do that. And she started putting almost as in Sweet Tea's not doing her responsibility as a woman. And
It's
she
the same thing
started
they did
putting
to
that narrative
Quad.
to
When
Qual.
Quad didn't want to have a
Yeah,
kid and they kept like
yeah.
making her feel bad. It's gross. I
And I
can't.
think we see the trend of Heavenly starting in those directions, and people respond to it. But I think we need to look at someone who is a common perpetuator as someone
That's
who's
my
the
point.
common origin of a lot
What
of
is
these
the common
issues.
denominator? Heavenly's constantly always do. She just did it to Contessa. Like, what are you talking? Like, she just did it to Contessa. Like, she does this all the time to her castmates,
She
and
does
I think that it's a
what?
pattern. She just
Speak about
starts.
their family.
I wholeheartedly believe she was like, okay, production wants Quad out, so let me get this girl Sweet Tea on. When she noticed Quad wasn't gonna leave, boom.
Well, she plays behind the scenes, dirty game. That's what you're
Yeah, she
saying.
noticed
Yeah.
when she realized that they weren't gonna actually get rid of Quad and it wasn't gonna happen. All of a sudden, her and Sweet Tea have a problem.
Well,
It was
and
just so
she even
weird.
said she felt bad for what they did to Quad, I guess, when the narrative turned. But this is one thing I noticed is that you guys were talking about how they did the same thing to Quad with her being wanting her to have a baby. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about how there's a lot of women who think like Heavenly. I
Yep.
think it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of as well generation gaps because I don't
Yeah.
think Quad or a Sweet Tea would really think like Heavenly and as far as the whole gay man comment, but I believe that and listen, I don't want to put this out, I don't want to say that Simone and Jackie and them think this way, but I wouldn't put it past Simone, Jackie, and the rest of them to feel the same way. Again, those older women who are like our mother's ages, and again, I don't want to put it on all of them because I'm sure your mother's not that way, your mother's not that way, yours, and mine's not that way. But there are a lot of them who think just like Heavenly and think back to the. I know we weren't exactly on the gay men comment still, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
whenever
Mm-hmm.
you
It's
mentioned the pregnancy
traditional.
thing, it
Yeah.
made me think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing we need to see from Sweet Tea is I think Sweet Tea just needs to, I don't want to say she needs to speak up for herself, but I want to see her
She does
confront
though.
Dr. Heavenly on the issues that.
Sorry, I was okay. I'm done. That was the issue. My laptop is supposed to fall. Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, I want to see Sweet Tea confront Dr. Heavenly on the issues that she has with her. Lay it out word by word. And I need them to just air it all out. And it's tough because on this show, they can't talk about Carlos King. They can't detail Carlos
Yeah.
King's involvement in their issues. They have to just talk about the two of them. And I think they just need to talk about it, clear it out, be honest, tell the truth about it, and move forward. I do not want to talk about this next season.
Okay.
This
Yeah, and
particular issues,
I need
unresolved
Carlos.
Well,
issues.
then then I think
Carlos to
Heavenly
stop getting
needs to
involved.
stop. I think Heavenly needs to stop having this trend of behavior and really take some time to think before she says stuff. Think before you go on live. Think before you go on YouTube, and just start to consider other people's
I
perspective. I
love
think once
Dr.
she's, I
Heavenly.
think once
Like,
she, I know you do, honey. But I think
Honestly,
once
do
she stops
too.
saving face, and once she stops saving face, and she starts actually thinking about the root of why people are upset, then moving forward, it's going to be easier for her to operate, and we won't see these issues as much.
I
I
think
like Dr. Heavenly too, but I think that this comes out of her mouth is dangerous. I think it's very
Yeah,
dangerous.
dangerous.
Two
That
can be true at
mindset
once.
to exactly. I think that mindset. I really am offended by her saying that about gay men because that is
Yeah.
something that I deal with all the time with my family.
Mhm.
Being I grew up in a Hispanic household that is very masculine, very has a lot of toxic masculinity traits, and that's something that I'm constantly having to deal with because I'm seen as weaker because I like the D. Like, and I just don't understand how those correlate. And I think continuously perpetuating that narrative when you have a degree, when you have money to be more educated, it doesn't excuse, it's not an excuse.
Exactly.
You have education, you have money, you tell us all the time. Put that money to good use and get educated.
And
It's not an excuse.
and she needs to be careful what she says because people who say stuff like that, a lot of times karma spins the block and you end up having a gay child, a gay grandchild. You know, it's kind of like when the racists have mixed grandbabies. Be careful
Yep.
because listen, it wasn't. I don't know if he's out or not. So y'all, I'm not trying to out nobody, but
it's
ain't one of her
allegation.
ain't okay allegation
The
allegedly,
rumor.
but isn't one of her kids like us?
It's
There's rumors that her
it's
older
a
son.
unsupported rumor.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
just
didn't know if he
unsupported
was
rumor.
publicly out there with it or what.
Unsupported rumor.
But listen, well, it's not a unsupported rumor, is what Eric is saying. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the sweet D.
There's nothing wrong with the
But
sweet D.
everyone looking in,
What did Eric
Everybody
make
wants
say?
a little
sure
sweet D in their life.
make
Ah!
sure that you
Hold
like.
up, bro, chat family. That came out of Mitch's mouth. I want everybody to
I told y'all he's the Stacy of the group.
know.
Everyone
Ah!
looking in, make sure you
You're the
like
Kim
this.
Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sandra Clark, what is it?
The
Blanche from
quiet
Go to
ones are
Girl.
always the undercover freaks.
Everyone looking in, make sure you like this video. And oh, and bros, I almost forgot. We're gonna have a guest co-host rotation where we're gonna be guest co-hosting some brand new faces to fill the fifth square on BroChat. So coming up soon, you are going to see some guest co-hosts, and one of those guest co-hosts will be BroChat's newest bro, BroChat's newest co-host. And we want to know from you in the comment section, who are you liking the most? Which guest co-host is your favorite? Make sure you chime in the comment section from week to week, but that process is coming sooner than you think. We will see you again next time.